So I wrote down what I wanted to say because sometimes when I start talking, I will sort of lose track of what I wanted to say, and it really just kind of messes with my flow of communicating. So I, growing up, was one of very few black people in my circle, and I tried not to notice it. I tried not to think about it because the people in my circle were, they were great friends. They were amazing to me. And I wanted to believe that everybody was great, like my circle of friends, like the people that I hung out with. But unfortunately, I learned that that wasn't true by people, shouting at me as I'm running down the street, just trying to exercise, yelling things about my body and my skin as I'm just trying to exercise, trucks full of, white boys yelling again at me and my sister as we're just trying to, walk through the parking lot to go into a store, being called an Oreo, which, if you didn't know, is like saying that you're white on the inside, black on the outside, for, in my case, speaking intelligently and carrying myself as I do. I like to be put together. I like to be relatively sharp. Sometimes, my outfits aren't hitting like that, but as if to say that, being put together and, cleaned up and articulate and intelligent is something that is uncharacteristic of a black girl and is more characteristic of a white girl. I tried to act like those things were not intentionally directed at me because of what I look like on the outside, but with seeing everything that's going on and having so many stories flash by my eyes as I'm reading story after story after story, I have had to, I guess, reflect and come to terms with, like, no, those things that people said to me and what happened to me wasn't just somebody, making a joke or being, just haha, trying to get a laugh. Like, they were meant to be hurtful things. And I think that I tried to not believe that as a kid. And I see that now I was wrong. And it's been absolutely draining in every sense to read story after story after story after story of a black man, black woman, black child, life lost because of something that should not and was not a death sentence. It shouldn't have been, and yet it was. So, sorry, my phone's vibrating. I have stuff pulled up, and I'm trying to keep my stuff together so I stay on track, but it's kind of distracting. So, now I feel like I have had my own awakening to things that I didn't want to remember and pay attention to and see the reality of as a kid. And I, as a black woman, have constantly felt like I couldn't say what I really felt or what I was really thinking, or especially when something upset me, I felt like I couldn't say that because somebody would call me, the stereotypical angry black woman, when I don't believe that just having feelings makes me that. I really don't. Especially when, in 9 times out of 10, I'm incredibly respectful because I don't like to make people upset and uncomfortable. But in a situation like this, and in a really critical point in life, which this has always been a critical point, but especially now when change is hopefully coming, caring about comfort is not a concern anymore. So I feel like it would have been a disservice to me and to every other black person, brown person out there to not verbally and very clearly say that, this movement, this Black Lives Matter movement and push for just straight up equality and respect as human beings is near and dear to me, and I am, behind it 100%. And I hope with everything in me that everyone else sees this too. And I think that that's hopefully what is happening with people protesting and saying, we have been talking about this for years and years and years and years and years and years, and Black people have been suffering for hundreds of years and years and years. And it was us saying enough is enough back then, and it's us saying enough is enough now, but now we're not taking, we'll get to it later, as an answer. So I just really felt like it was important to me to say that on my channel, because as a little bit of comfort to myself to know that I am at least trying to maybe reach another person out there, to encourage them to go read something, to learn something, to go talk to somebody that really wants to share with you why this is so important to them. I think that this is a great place to say that we need you to care just as much as we do. It doesn't matter what you look like. Everybody has to care. And I hope that anybody watching this video doesn't come into my comments and say all lives matter, because never once in my video will I say, or do I say, that I don't value another person's life, because I value everybody's life. I do. I truly do. But the Black community has been under attack for a very, very long time. And until people truly do value Black lives like they value other lives, it's not true when you say that all lives matter, when clearly there are people out there that don't believe that. So that's my piece on that. If anybody felt like typing that in the comments, I've already addressed it in the video, so no need to put it there. And if you really get to the end of this video before my next portion and you say, okay, yes, I hear what you're saying, but what about, I'm going to stop you right there. And I'm going to say, all these people that have passed, like Clifford Glover, Claude Reese, Randy Evans, Sean Bell, Oscar Grant, Trayvon Martin, Jordan Davis, Jonathan Farrell, Ayanna Jones, Eric Garner, Mike Brown, Tamir Rice, Walter Scott, Freddie Gray, the Charleston Nine, Sandra Bland, Corey Jones, Alton Sterling, Philando Castile, Keith Scott, Jordan Edwards. The list is so much longer than you can even imagine and that I've read right now. They don't need people that say, okay, I hear you, but. They need people that say, holy crap, this list is ridiculously long and this stops here. And it has to matter to everybody here right now. So that's my part on that. If you were going to type, okay, I hear you, but, in the comments. So now that I've addressed that and I have made very clear how I feel about that, I'm going to get into what I've been doing to stay sane and healthy, and what you can do to also stay sane and healthy during this time. So, as you can imagine, my anxiety, my physical tension, my everything has been at an all-time high, and my stress has been even higher than that. So what I've been doing, or what I've been trying to do, I will admit I have not been perfect, is I have really been trying to do things that make me feel good physically, that will then sort of back me up and help me feel better emotionally and mentally. Now let me explain what I mean by that. So I've really been trying to get at least an hour of exercise in every day. And a normal, span of time in a normal situation, exercising is not hard for me. But like I mentioned in the video, in the earlier part of this video, I just felt so heavy and just truly stuck in my thoughts and my emotions, and where do I go from here. So really getting up and exercising has been good for me there. Another thing that I think you should do is just breathe. Honestly, take a deep breath in, hold it for about 3 seconds, and let it out. And every time you feel that pressure start creeping up in your chest, that's what you should do. Another thing is making sure that you are eating right, and eating in general, because I know that when we get stressed out, we tend to not eat, and to drink your water. It is amazing how being properly hydrated and properly energized with food, like how important that is for your mental state and your physical state as well. And I think sometimes we underestimate the importance of diet and especially hydration when we are going through trying times, or work is stressing us out, or we're dealing with, a total national outcry for change for a community. No matter what you're in, hydration and diet are always going to be important. Another thing that I think is really great is if you have a certain musical artist that makes music that calms you down, just put that on repeat. My favorite artist for when I'm really stressed out is Khalid. I don't know what it is, but every single song that he has can put me at ease and really make me feel like I'm gonna be okay no matter what I'm going through. Fourth thing, I think we're on number 4, is talk to people, and really, if you need to cry it out, cry it out. If you need to shout it out, shout it out. If you need to just scream into your pillow and have somebody scream with you, do that too. Don't feel like you have to carry the weight of everything that you feel, everything that you've seen, everything that you've read. Don't carry that on your shoulders by yourself, because I promise you it will become too heavy for you to bear, and it will crush you. And I don't want that for you, and I'm 100% certain that everyone that cares for you doesn't want that for you either. A fifth thing that you can do if you really just feel like I got to do something, I got to go now, there are, and I'll put this in the, description box below, there are so many resources you can go to sign petitions. You can call state offices and, request to speak to certain people that have a great deal in reform. You can, if you are comfortable with it and if you are in a safe place, you can go protest if that's what you decide to do. You can make art for people's families that have lost loved ones. You can do things like this and become an educational source and encourage other people to do what you're doing. There are so many different ways that you can show your support, no matter who you are, no matter what race you are, no matter where you come from. There are so many ways that you can show your support and really get active and get involved and donate and feel like you are a part of the change that you want to see, because sometimes that is what we need to feel better in our own bodies, in our own skin, is to feel like I was a part of making that happen. So I'll put those resources down below if that is something that you want to do and what you want to get active in. I'll try to find this one really amazing link. It was literally a one-stop shop for anything and everything you could think of, reading resources. Sorry y'all, my camera decided to die on me in the middle of a sentence, and it's cost me precious natural light. But as I was saying, I will put those things in the description box for you to look into if that is what you are drawn to. Make sure you get some sleep, and know that everybody has a specialty thing that they are great at, whether it be art or, calling for change and starting these pages for support, or just signing petitions and sharing it. Whatever it is, whatever you are drawn to, that's your lane. That is what you excel at, and you rock that one thing. Don't wear yourself thin trying to do everything, because I promise you there is somebody that can fill that emptiness that you feel in other places, if that makes sense. So like, you may be good over here, but somebody else may be really good over here, and that works for everybody because there's someone in everything. So that's all I had for this video. Thank you so much for bearing with my camera deciding to take a break and my natural light fading much faster than I planned. Thank you. I think I already said that, but thank you for watching my video. I hope you'll come back for my next video next week. But until then, see ya.